Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another craft day Monday, where every Monday I post a new video. In today's video, we're going to be making a falling gnome on ice skates. I thought this would be a fun project to do, so we're just going to get right into it. What you're going to need for this project is you're going to need cardboard, clear plastic, scissors. You're going to need any type of fabric you have. I'm going to be using old sleeves from a shirt and old pieces from a pair of jeans. These are going to make his legs. You're going to need faux fur. You're going to need styrofoam ball cut in half. This is what we will be using for his head. We have another one that we're going to be using for his nose. You're going to be needing a baby shower shoe. I've made these several times in my videos. You're going to need a piece of felt, or you're going to need a sheet of felt, and you're going to be needing foil. And for the gnome, we're going to be starting off with a plastic bottle that I cut in half. I cut the bottom off. I took a piece of cardboard and covered the bottom. And then I took a piece of styrofoam ball and I've already glued it to his head. That way this part will be done. And now I'm going to turn my camera down so we can just go ahead and get into the video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make our pond that our gnome is going to be skating on. I have one here. This is one that I did. And I'll show you what I did. So I took a piece of cardboard, and I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera. I took a piece of cardboard, and I painted it with my Cloudless blue paint. And then once I had it painted, I went ahead and took my clear plastic. Where did I do with my... Okay, so I went ahead, once I painted this blue. So you're going to go ahead. So once you paint it blue, and I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm just going to show you what I did. So once you paint this blue, you want to go ahead and let this dry. And once it dries completely, you're going to take your clear plastic and you're going to put this on top and you're going to glue it down. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of my way. So once you have your clear plastic glued down on your base, you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're just going to go ahead and put little strips of hot glue right across the top, just like this. And this is going to represent the ice. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue to just put little pieces of little dabs of hot glue all over it, and this is gonna be the ice for our rink or a pond, whichever one you want to call it. And this is what it looks like. And now that it's still kind of wet, I'm going to go ahead and take some of my fake snow. This is optional. I didn't list this in there, but I do have fake snow. And I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to put it on my little pond. I'm not going to do a lot. I just want to do a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and tap off the extra. And we're just going to go ahead and move this. I'm just going to stick this right back in our bag. And I'm just going to fold it. And we're just going to set that out of the way. So now we have our little pond. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start on our gnome. So once you have your top part of your plastics pop bottle or soda, whatever you call it, I used a Coke bottle. Like I mentioned, you're going to cover the bottom with cardboard. And now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take the sleeves of the shirt that I reserved. One is going to be his shirt and the other is going to be his hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on over his head. And I have a video up on how I actually made this part of my gnome. So there is a video up for that. And I'm just going to pull it down. And I want this to serve as, you know, like maybe a turtleneck for him, because it's not going to be seen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around to make sure it's nice and even in the back. So I'm going to take some hot glue, and we're just going to put a little bit here, and we're just going to stick this down. Just like that. And now I'm going to take this part, and I'm just going to pull this up. Just like this. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to bring my little pond. And I'm just going to place him on how I want him to be. So now what I'm going to do is I've already done one leg, and I'm going to go ahead and stick this in place on how I want it to be. Because I want it to look like he fell and his legs just run off and under him. He just ended up with his legs in the air. So I want this to look like this. So I'm going to go ahead, put some hot glue right on the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this right here. And with it being aluminum foil, it's flexible. You can adjust it and move it around if you need to. I'm going to bring this in a bit right there. Now what I did for this is I took a piece of aluminum foil, and you're going to do the legs the same way, the arms the same way you do the legs. So these are going to be my arms. So I'm just going to fold it over like this, and we're just going to go ahead and crinkle it. And then we'll cut it down to size as we need to. So we'll see what size we want it to be, his arm. So what I'm doing is right now I'm just kind of crinkling it up. Normally I would use flexible curling rods, but I do not have any, so I have to go with what I have on hand without actually having to run out and buy anything. So these are going to be his arms, and I'm just going to take my scissors and I am going to cut them down a bit. So we're going to go ahead and take his little arm, and we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue right down here, and yeah. So we're just going to stick it, and we don't want it to cover it all the way. We want the little part for the hand to be out. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and start to roll. And I'm just going to pull it as I go. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. Grab a glue stick. So we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue right down through here. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it kind of tight. So it'd be tight on here. Pull this up a bit. And we're just going to continue to roll. And now we're going to go ahead and glue it. So I'm going to glue it here. Then we're going to go ahead and glue this here. And I'm going to take my scissors, and we're just going to cut off this little extra. Going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue just to close the ends. And you're going to do this with both, the same ones with both. And I'm just going to place it now to see how I want it. So we have one, and here is our other one. And I'm just going to pull this up a bit. And then, okay. Now we have his little hands. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure these are even. I'm just going to cut off a little more. And I am going to take, now that we have these here, I'm going to go ahead and set these to the side. And we're going to come back and work on his other leg. Now, I took some foil, just like I did with his arms, and I wrapped the foil around this strip of fabric that I'm going to be using for his blue jeans. And I've already went ahead and done that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the his little ice skate. So what I did was I took a baby shower shoe. I covered the bottom with cardboard. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our piece of felt. And y'all seen me do this one in several videos. I took the piece of felt and I just layered it around the shoe. So what I did, I'm just going to start right at the base of the shoe. And we're just going to go around the whole shoe. And as like I mentioned, I've every pair of Gnome shoes that I've ever made, I've done it the exact same way. So there's videos on that of this also. And I'm just going to continue to cover. And then we're going to go up and put some here, like this. And we're going to go to the top. And we're just going to pull this. Hold it there. And I'm just going to put a little more hot glue, right? Close this in like this. So this is what you should have. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put some hot glue right down in the middle of that shoe. So you're going to take the hot glue and you're going to put it down in there, and you're going to take your fingers and you're just going to pinch up and hold. Just like this. And now I'm just going to put a little hot glue right here. And I'm just going to hold that. Don't want to squeeze too much. And once you do this step, you're going to go ahead and you're going to squeeze hot glue down off in the inside, but not all the way, just around the edge. And then we're going to go ahead and tuck it in just like this. And once you get it tucked in, that's what you should have. The opening just like this. I hate those little glue strands. Now we're going to take our leg and we're just going to stick that right down off in here. I'm going to push that in and give it a turn. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to take a thin strip of cardboard and I am going to put it right across the shoe. And this is just going to give the part of the ice skate something to hold on to. So I'm just going to hold that there. And I went ahead and drew the shape of the ice of the, I got paint on my hands, please excuse my hands. This is the shape of the ice skate, the part of that's the blade. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that. So I'm going to put hot glue directly on the blade. And we're just going to go ahead and stick this right down on top. And you're just going to hold this here a bit and let that dry. So we're just going to hold this and let everything dry. And hot glue does not take long to dry. So now I'm going to bring this back and we're just going to play around with it on how we want the other leg. And then we're going to adjust everything. Okay, now that we have our legs glued in place, we're going to go ahead and put his I'm going to go ahead and glue his body down. So I'm going to go ahead and put a good amount of hot glue. So we're just going to put a good amount of hot glue right across the legs. And then we're going to put some right directly on the board. Just like this. And now I'm going to pull the shirt up a bit, and we're just going to go ahead and stick this on just like that. And now that I know where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue here and right across here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull his shirt down so it's covering his legs. So this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to bring his arms that we have here, and I'm just going to play around with them until I'm happy with the way I want them to go on here. So I wasn't for sure on how I wanted the arms to look, so that's why I'm basically just playing around with it. And now I see how I want them to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some white felt. And this is what we're going to use for his little mittens on his hands. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take them and I'm just going to cut out a U shape. And we're just going to stick those. I'm going to cut off another one, and then we're just going to glue these on top once we get the arms glued in place. So I'm going to hold that there. Now come back. Going to grab his arms. And I want this to be this way. And that's why I like working with the aluminum foil, because you can adjust the arms any way you need them to be. And I'm going to put some hot glue right here. And we're just going to go ahead and stick that there. So I'm going to hold this here, just like that. And I am going to take my U shape, and this is going to be his glove, or his mitten, or whatever you want it to be. And I'm going to cut it down a bit. And I'm going to glue it there, but before I do that, I'm going to put some hot glue right on the bottom. And then we're just going to go ahead and stick that down. And I'm going to take this, and we're just going to put this right over it. And I'm just going to stick this right on here. So that's what that one looks like. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. I'm going to turn the hand out a bit. Because since he just fell, he's kind of in shock. Let's once again, hot glue. Going to stick where we want it. Just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and try to remove some of these hot glue strands. And there's his other hand. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the bottom. Stick that there. I'm going to cut this one down the size. I'm going to give this a little stretch so it can be long enough to go on his hand. So there's that one. And we're just going to go ahead, put some hot glue right on the top of his hand. And we're just going to stick this right down on top. So this is what we have so far. Now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take his little nose. And I don't know if I want that to be a little bit smaller, maybe. I'm going to play around with this to see how I want it to look. So we're going to go ahead and stick his nose on. And I'm going to put his nose, let me see. I'm going to put his nose about here, I think. So, going to grab some hot glue. We're just going to go ahead and stick his nose on. Let's pull it up a bit. So this is what his nose is looking like. And I am going to go ahead now and we're going to add his beard with the faux fur. And I didn't want to comb it out. I wanted to look kind of rough. And now we're just going to bring it to see about how we like it or how we want it to look. And that's a red piece of something in there, but it's fine. I got it. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this down a bit. I'm going to take my scissors and just open that up a bit. Not cut, just open. And then we're just going to go ahead and stick our little beard on. So this is what it's looking like. I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue right around the nose. And then we're going to take our beard and we're just going to stick this beard right on our gnome. And I'm just pushing everything in. I'm going ahead and going in the back and gluing everything down. So we're just going to glue that here, pull that down. I'm going to come over the other side and put some hot glue here, stick that down. You can clean it up a bit if you want. I like when mine look kind of messy. Now we got our little hat that we have here, which is the other part of the sleeve. And I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to put it on this way. Just like this. So this is what it looks like. And I am going to go ahead and put some hot glue right on the end of the shirt or his hat. And then we're just going to glue it in place. And now I'm going to come in the back. I'm going to turn it this way and we're just going to glue the rest of it down. Just like that. Going to go ahead, pull this down. Hold that there. And we're going to take this part and I am going to put some hot glue right there. I'm going to push that together. And then I am going to take some hot glue, put a little here and here. And we're just going to push these ends together just like this. I'm just going to hold that here. And now I'm just going to take that. We're going to fold it and we're just going to push this just like that. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to tuck it, and we're going to glue it. So you're going to put some glue here. We're going to hold this and allow that to dry. And we are done with our little ice skating gnome that fell. So here he is. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back up so y'all can see me.